Hello and welcome to TechWatch, the monthly video news program produced by eSchool News. I'm Dennis Pierce. Ahead on this month's edition, 10 of the nation's top tech-savvy superintendents are honored in New Orleans, and 2 other forward-thinking school executives discuss how blogs have helped them improve relations with stakeholders. But first, here's a look at EdTech news from around the nation. Hoping to give Michigan kids a leg up in the business world, a Michigan State University Language Institute and the Michigan Virtual University are teaming up to offer every high school in the state one free seat in an online Chinese language and culture class next year. Yang Zhao, an education professor and executive director at Michigan State's Confucius Institute, said learning Chinese could help students find jobs as China evolves as a leading player in the global economy. The free seat is being offered to every Michigan high school, including private schools, for a total of 750 students. High schools can sign up for additional students for $350 a semester. The deadline to apply is April 30th. Oregon officials are moving to pencil and paper tests in reading and math for the remainder of the school year, pulling the plug on the online assessment system that has given fits to students and their teachers in recent weeks. Deputy State Superintendent Ed Dennis said the switch was unavoidable because the online testing contractor, Vantage Learning, was not willing to continue performing services under its contract. Vantage said the contract has been canceled for lack of payment. The computerized testing system has been popular because it allows students to take standardized tests up to 3 times and lets their teachers analyze the results to pinpoint where students need help. The March 12th announcement means Oregon will go back to pencil and paper testing at least until next school year, when a new testing company comes aboard. Connecticut lawmakers unveiled a bill last month that would require MySpace and other social networking sites to verify users' ages and obtain parental consent before minors can post profiles. The bill came one day after a man was sentenced to 14 years in prison for using MySpace to set up a sexual encounter with an 11-year-old Connecticut girl in one of the first federal sex cases involving the popular site. Connecticut Attorney General Richard Blumenthal, who met with other state attorneys general on March 6th, said 10 to 20 other states are considering similar legislation. Latinos are not going online as much as non-Hispanic whites and blacks, even at younger ages where internet use is far greater, according to a report released March 14th. The report's findings present some challenges for policymakers and educators. 56% of adult Latinos use the internet, compared with 70% of whites and about 60% of blacks, according to the Pew Hispanic Center and the Pew Internet and American Life Project. The study found that only 1 in 3 Spanish-dominant Latinos use the internet. Latinos online tend to be primarily English speakers or bilingual and have graduated from college and high school. Still, more than half of adult Latinos have cell phones, and most of them send and receive text messages, the report said. A computer and an internet connection soon might be all that are needed for students, educators, and anyone else to hear closing arguments in a corruption trial or listen to the testimony of a government whistleblower. The federal judiciary last month approved a pilot program to make free audio recordings of court proceedings available online. Although a court's participation in the program is voluntary, U.S. District Judge Thomas Hogan, executive chairman of the Policymaking Judicial Conference, said he expects the system ultimately will be widely used. News organizations and open government groups have applauded the decision, which will allow the files to be played on television and radio and posted on internet news sites and blogs. CBS Corporation said it has purchased the online high school sports network MaxPreps to expand its local sports coverage. MaxPreps, which offers information on nearly 80,000 high school football and 500,000 boys and girls basketball games played each year, will become a part of CBS-owned College Sports Television, or CSTV. About 1 million high school athletes are registered to use MaxPreps, the company said, and the deal presumably will add even more visibility to these students in their athletic pursuits. Still to come on this edition of TechWatch, eSchool News salutes 10 of the nation's top tech-savvy superintendents, and 2 other tech-savvy school leaders explain how they're leveraging blogs to foster support for key initiatives. But first, some higher education technology news. Ohio University has hired a new technology chief to oversee computer systems that hackers compromised in a high-profile security breach last year. The university announced last month that Bryce Bible will become Chief Information Officer on April 16th. He's currently Interim Chief Information Officer and Assistant Vice President for Information Technology at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Last April, Ohio University discovered breaches in 4 computer systems, exposing several files containing Social Security numbers, names, medical records, and home addresses. The school fired 2 administrators over the electronic break-ins and spent millions to upgrade its computer security. Arizona college students can be Sun Devils, Wildcats, and Lumberjacks at the same time. A small but growing number of students are now taking courses at all 3 state universities through a program that gives them more flexibility and access to classes. Students can choose the university that grants their degree and never attend a class there in person, the Arizona Republic reports. As part of the Arizona Universities network, they typically go to class at one university and take online courses at the other 2. The program, which was inconceivable a decade ago, reflects how online education is rapidly changing the traditional college campus, advocates say. India's top technology institute now pulls the plug on internet access in students' dorm rooms a half hour before the clock strikes midnight, according to the Associated Press. The reason? Many of the Indian Institute of Technology students were showing up for class bleary-eyed, if at all, after late nights spent playing online games and surfing the web. Since March 13th, internet access in dorms has been blocked starting at 11:30 p.m. each evening. It is restored at 12:30 p.m. the next day. Predictably enough, students are upset. The institute said it would review its ban after a month. And finally, the University of Iowa has come up with a proactive method for fighting websites built to criticize its coaches by buying up domain names. Websites ripping college coaches have popped up in increasing numbers in recent years. But the ongoing battle between internet sites and athletic departments took a new twist last summer, when University of Iowa officials purchased 7 domain names, including firekirkferentz.com, which refers to Hawkeyes head football coach Kirk Ferentz, to keep them off the market. According to Iowa Associate Athletic Director Rich Klatt, the move was made as an extension of the school's licensing program, which protects its name, image, and logo, and to protect some of its high-level employees. Still to come, winners of the 2007 Tech Savvy Superintendent Awards and Soups Who Blog.